Okay, we're back in the month of March, and let's finish translating these Nuevo Paraiso locations. This is Ramita de la Bea, and Ramita de la Bea means twig of the berry. Why? Well, my only guess is that a lot of these bushes seem like they could have berries, but none of them really have berries. At least I can't see the berries if they have any. Do they? Let me see with the sniper rifle. Nope, no berries, at least as far as I can see. Yep, I'm not seeing any berries there. But this location is interesting to me because I believe that it has to do with something because of this bridge. It connects Nuevo Paraiso and southern New Austin together. As you can see there, border crossing, leaving Mexico. And I wonder if the name Twig of the Berry has something to do with this bridge, because it's the most interesting thing in Ramita de la Bea. Was there a Mexican or English slang that had, I don't know, Twig of the Berry as a bridge? If so, then that's some weird slang. I wonder if this is accurate. Nowadays, I know that in the future, both America and Mexico want to set up a more sophisticated border capable of keeping making sure that immigrants could not pass through the border because of fear of illegal immigration. But I don't know. Even back in the Wild West, people didn't really consider that, at least that much. Oh, you almost ran me over, stupid. Anyway, I know people didn't consider illegal immigration as much as a problem as it was nowadays, but still, I think at least the American government or Mexican government would have left a little bit more of a sophisticated border rather than just this bridge. The bridge is easy to walk on, but that's just like welcoming illegal immigration, whether it's from Mexico or America. Yeah. Huh. Also, well, yeah, and then again, this was also a good spot for criminals, because if a criminal was wanted in America, and if they went to Mexico, this area here, their bounty would not apply to them in Mexico. So this was a good spot for American criminals to get away from the United States law. In fact, I think you can do that in this game. If you get a bounty in New Austin, you can escape it, but you can destroy it by going to Nuevo Paraiso, but if you return, you'll get your bounty back. I'll protect this stagecoach. I'll protect this. Uh-oh, the volume's gonna be loud. I forgot to turn it down, so... Wait a minute, no, that's okay, actually. Okay, saving. Come on, I want to get this episode over with. I want to get these locations over with so that we can have some fun. Okay, I believe our next location is gonna be... no, we did Rocco de Nera. Let's go to Sepulcro, yeah. Okay, we're on our way to Sepulcro. Okay, we're at Sepulcro, and Sepulcro means sepulture in Spanish. And a sepulture is a place to bury. Makes perfect sense because a cemetery is where you go to bury people who have passed on. So makes perfect sense. But still, it's a cemetery, and it seems abandoned, and it shouldn't be abandoned because this is the only cemetery I can find in Nuevo Paraiso. You think people would make sure it's being taken care of? This entire place looked like it was bombed. Man, it's a holy place. Don't leave it like this. This is also the place where you go to capture... spoiler. This is the place where you go to capture Captain DeSanta. Lying, cheating. Well, I better not say. So, that's Sepulcro, and we're moving on to... Let's go to Alta Cabeza. Yeah. Or, am I saying that right? Alta Cabeza. Yeah, let's just go with that. Okay, everybody, this is Alta Cabeza, and it translates to high head. Why is it called high head? Well, it's not a head, it's a rock structure caused by erosion, but it's high. Yeah. Now we're gonna go to El Matadero, which is right across from Alta Cabeza, but I'm gonna deliver this guy who's from another random encounter where somebody tries to steal your horse because they say that they need to get back to civilization. But this guy, he was right at Alta Cabeza. He was right there. He could so obviously see El Matadero from Alta Cabeza, and he says he needs a ride back to civilization? Man, this guy isn't too smart. What's going on? Is there somebody here? I heard gunshots. What's going on? Let's get that music. Oh, there they are. What's going on here? What's this? I guess nothing. Well, yeah, I guess nothing. I let the music play. Nothing's happening. Okay, now it's gone. So this is El Matadero, and it's called the Slaughterhouse, which makes sense because probably one of the most important places in El Matadero is the Slaughterhouse. You know, the same place I robbed that safe in the Christmas special, and the place where you go to meet the Chinese guy in the Stranger Mission. Love is the Opiate. Yeah, it's a slaughterhouse where people come here in order to, you know, do their work by slaughtering pigs, chickens, or whatever kind of animals to get the meat from the bodies. There's a guy. Wait a minute. That's the same guy who was in Love of the Opiate. I gave him the white stallion so that he could go back to Beijing, so why isn't he back in Beijing? Well, it's called Love of the Opiate, so maybe he's high on opium and he really doesn't know what he's saying. But, you know what, I'm going to try something. I want to see if I'm going to get a wanted level, because I once robbed the safe from here, without, again, as I said, the bureau uniform, and I didn't get wanted at all. I guess nobody saw me, so I'm going to try robbing the safe without the bureau uniform and see if nobody gives a crap. Nobody's going to call the authorities. It doesn't make sense, though. You could still get minus 100 honor if you crack a safe. If nobody's there to see you crack the safe and not spread the word, then how are you going to get negative honor? Okay, am I in trouble? I'm also wearing the Mexican rebel outfit, so I probably won't get in trouble anyway. Yeah, see, look over there. Nobody gives a crap. Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. Okay, let's move on. We're gonna go to... let's see... Let's go to Mesa de Luna. We could just ride over there. Also, I made a mistake in my last video. I said that we had 7 more episodes to go in my last episode, but I got the idea of me planning to end the series with the when my first episode of Red Dead Redemption with Pacman turned a year old, so that's when I was going to end my series. But then I realized that my original plan was to end the series when Red Dead Redemption becomes a year old. So really, we have this episode, the next episode, and this episode March. Next episode is April, and then Red Dead Redemption turns a year old in May. So that's really. After this, we only have 2 episodes to go. It's ending earlier than I thought. Well, but don't worry, I have the music video planned, and I plan to do something a little special for the last episode. The last real episode. So, this is... let's see... Mesa de la Luna, and Mesa de la Luna means Table of the Moon. I can't really understand why it's called Table of the Moon, but maybe if you look at it from a certain angle, the moon's in an interesting place if you look at the rock from a different angle, kind of like in Raiders of the Lost Ark when Indiana Jones has to place the medallion in a certain place at a certain time to reveal the location of the Ark. Except you don't do that, you just want to see if the moon's in an interesting place compared with the rock. Also, that's actually a pretty cool name. It's a pretty awesome name, Table of the Moon. That should be the name of the name of a mystery movie or fantasy movie, Table of the Moon. I've done this a million times. I'm not rescuing no prisoners. You get it yourself. Okay, fine, I'll rescue them, but let me get this over with. Here's Mesa del Sol, and Mesa del Sol means Table of the Sun. So would you look at that? Table of the Moon and Table of the Sun. And I do think that it's an interesting location here, because maybe if you approach it from the back and if you look through that little opening, as you can see, that wide crevice, maybe you can see the sun right through it. But I'm not certain because the sun's setting. Maybe that's so. But maybe what's an interesting thing is that if there's a time in the game where the sun and the moon are in the same location, if you look through the table of the sun and if you look at the table of the moon through it, maybe the sun and the moon will be perfectly aligned. So that's my only guess. I'll try it at another time, but there probably is no time where the sun and the moon are in the sky at the same time. Okay, moving on, we're gonna go to... Let's go to Casa Madrugada. It's not far away. A lot of these Diaz Coronas locations are all clustered together. Oh, I forgot. Diaz Coronas translates to 10 crows. Why is it called 10 crows? I don't have an explanation. Let's move on. I was looking at a piece of paper which has the translations. Here's Casu Madrugada, which translates to more... Actually, let me see what...
Stop now!
It translates to Morning House and House of the Rising Sun. And it's a cantina, and the only explanation I have for it is that there are some saloons, I think, in the Wild West, or even in England, where it has something to do with the rising sun, because what would happen in the Wild West was that usually cowboys would have a drink or two in the morning so that they could get their day started. Maybe that's why this cantina is called Morning House or House of the Rising Sun. I don't know why, but this, for some reason, saloons have, there are a few saloons that have connections in their names with the sun or the moon. Like, if I go to the tavern in RuneScape in Varrock, it's called the Blue Moon Inn. So the Blue Moon Inn and the Morning Sun. What's the deal here? Let's see. I think I'm gonna have a drink in there, but our next location will be... Let's go to El Presidio. We are looking at El Presidio, and El Presidio translates to the prison. Again, the title makes sense because there is a prison in this fortress, because, as you can see, there are a small prison, but it is still a prison with only one cell. That's a smart prison, and this is the same cell in which John Marston turns in Javier Escuela in the mission, I forgot what it's called, the raid on El Presidio, or the attack on El Presidio or something, but although it's called the prison, it really doesn't, there is a prison, but that's not really what this location is about. I guess if they called it the fortress, to quote AVGN, it would make too much sense. That's my only reason. But really, call it the fortress. That's what it should really be called. Also, after the mission, nobody cares to repair the door here. Look, the double doors which can be locked. Look, after the mission, they're just left there. I mean, seriously. What's doing the door? Seriously, after the mission, they just leave the doors. They just leave the doors destroyed, so it's not really that good of a fortress if there's a way that the enemy can get in. That's the point of the fortress. You want to keep your enemies out. Well, maybe it just takes, I don't know, 3 years for anybody to figure this out. And I didn't mean to discharge my gun there. I'm gonna go to Manteca Falls. We're here at the beautiful Manteca Falls. Let me see. Am I reading that yet? Yeah. Manteca Falls, and I'm going to get a better view of it with my binoculars. And I'm not joking here. Manteca Falls translates to Lard Falls. Now, I'm not really joking here. I'm telling you the truth. That translates to Lard Falls, and the reason why it's called that is because it's been known that there is an error when trying to translate that to English. Many people get the word Manteca confused with Mantequilla, and Manteca translates to lard, but Mantequilla or Mantequilla, another Mantequilla, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Mantequilla or Quilla or Kella. It's spelled Mantequilla. And would you happen to know it? There is a